Welcome to this performance management process session, in which we'll explore the 4 components of the performance management process. The 4 components of the performance management process are plan, assess, develop, and recognize. You'll likely also notice that at the heart of the performance management process is the university mission and the goals that support that mission. To explore those 4 components of the performance management process, this session offers you 3 complementary components. First, some background information that will help you understand why the performance management process is important. Second, usage information to help you fully participate in and use the tools of the performance management process. And third, some possibilities. Possibilities that open up when we manage our performance well at Cornell University. To help you understand the background information of the performance management process, we're going to talk with 3 people. First, we'll talk with Divine Bay, the manager of talent acquisition at Cornell, and he'll explain what he tells people about coming to Cornell University as it relates to performance management.
We tell prospective employees that Cornell is an environment in which employees are encouraged to take ownership of their careers. The ownership piece is very important. Those who do that successfully are effective at molding and defining their careers. Cornell provides many career life and development benefits and resources to help people map out their career paths and potential opportunities so that they can plan their next steps. Employees are encouraged to discuss their aspirations with their supervisors. Supervisors, in turn, play a key role in developing their teams and preparing employees for future opportunities. It's a working partnership between both parties that provide opportunities for growth and development. Performance is highly valued. If I perform well, I will be recognized for my contributions. Oftentimes, new opportunities are created based on current work being done. That's one of the advantages of a collaborative structure such as ours. It sets the stage for highly motivated employees to navigate cross-functionally and successfully at Cornell.
Next, we'll talk to Kathy Berkran, the Director of Organizational Development for Faculty and Staff.
It is critical for us to manage our careers and be mindful of how we are performing. It is important for us to understand how our goals connect to the mission of Cornell University and consciously develop career goals. Focusing on performance as it relates to our career development is critical to our success as individuals and our success as a university. It is a mutual win. It's not just where am I going to go in my career, but also how am I going to give more value to Cornell. People want to perform well and have career opportunity, and we want them to perform well and have career opportunities at Cornell. People want to be valued at Cornell, and we want them to feel valued. That is one of the things that will make us attractive and keep people engaged and high-performing. Career development starts at the time you enter Cornell until the time that you leave. The whole time that you are here at the university, you can mindfully develop your career through the performance management process.
Now let's talk with Craig Higgins, a college business officer from the College of Human Ecology. He'll talk with us about how the performance management process helps us to accomplish the true work and mission of the university.
If we consider the mission of the university to be teaching, research, and outreach, then everything else we do is in support of that threefold mission. I think one of the most important things for us as part of the support function, those of us who are working in the support function, to do is to have a line of sight from our daily work to the mission that we're supporting. And I think creating that line of sight is really, at the first instance, the responsibility of leadership, supervisors, managers, but it's also the responsibility of the employee to be able to exercise that on a regular basis. I think once that is established and that mutual understanding exists, then 2 things can happen. One is we can really focus our resources effectively and more efficiently in support of the mission. And then 2, we can deliver clear and actionable feedback. That clear and actionable feedback for the employee allows for the fine-tuning of that alignment between the daily work and the planned outcomes of our mission. That effectiveness, I think, is at the root of the performance management process. And if we were to point to one thing that I think is the best, most efficient lever for continual improvement, I think it is the PMP.
Let's explore the information that will help you fully participate in the performance management process. Just as the diagram that we initially showed illustrates, the performance management process begins with a plan, moves on to the assessment, continues with career development, and finishes with recognition of our achievements. The first component, the plan, helps us to be clear about what the goals are for our departments and to understand how those goals align with the university's goals. Kathy Berkran, the Director of Organizational Development for Faculty and Staff, will elaborate on why we focus on goal alignment.
Our goals help us focus on what is most important and what we need to do well. Goal alignment is important because it lets us know how what we do every day contributes to the success of the university. We want people to have a line of sight from what their work is to the overall mission of the university. When we, as individuals and organizations, define and understand our work, we can more successfully help Cornell University achieve its goals. Aligning our goals to our roles gives us an opportunity to stretch our skill sets. Goals encourage us to tap into our strengths and to stretch and develop. Having aligned, well-written goals dramatically increases the likelihood of our success. Goals can be catalysts for personal and organizational development and enable us to engage in meaningful work.
Because our plan gives us a roadmap for a successful new year at Cornell, the first tool that we'll explore, the Performance Dialogue, which is both an assessment and a planning tool, begins with the plan. The Performance Dialogue should always begin with a look back at the plan that we laid out for ourselves in the previous year, then assess our performance compared to that plan and to our everyday duties, and finally look ahead to the coming year as we develop our next plan. Before we actually look at the Performance Dialogue tool, let's hear from Jim Sheridan, Senior Management Consultant for Organizational Development for Faculty and Staff. He will explain just how important ongoing feedback is.
Through clear and actionable feedback, each of us can more effectively and efficiently align our efforts and resources to create or enhance mission outcomes. The feedback mechanism is one of the most critical components for success in any system, whether it's a machine, an organization, or a relationship between two people. Without it, we may have no idea if what we're doing is helping, if it's working to support stated goals or not, or if changes are needed. One of the keys to developing is to know how you're doing. That's why feedback at Cornell University is extremely important. Knowing how to give feedback and knowing how to receive feedback will help you be successful and happier in your work. Feedback is an opportunity to grow and develop your skills so that you can be successful in your current and future roles. At Cornell, we want feedback to happen in all directions, up, down, and sideways. For example, feedback can go from peer to peer, from direct report to supervisor, or from supervisor to direct report. In its simplest form, feedback is telling someone what is working and what is not working. At Cornell, feedback is not just a good idea. It's what we must do to help us prevent problems before they happen, and it's also important in solving problems once they occur. People, no matter what their role is, need and deserve to know how they're doing, how their contributions measure up against expectations. They need to know the impact they have on the work of the organization and the people they encounter. Feedback is the best way to ensure that positive behaviors are repeated and that the not so positive behaviors don't occur again.
Let's explore the Performance Dialogue tool. If you'd like to follow along, feel free to wait until the end of this slide, and we'll give you an opportunity to download the tool through this presentation. If you went to the website right now, you can just scroll down until you see the Performance Management Tools section, and you can click on Performance Dialogue to download the tool. If you're following along with the tool open, you'll notice that to complete the document, we simply click on a field, enter some information, and move to the next field. We start by entering the person's information, my information when I'm the employee, and my report's information when I'm the supervisor. Then each of us, the supervisor and the employee, in turn, fills out the rest of the document. Now, let's hear from Chris Halliday, the Associate Vice President for Organizational Effectiveness. He'll explain to us the purpose of the rating scale in the performance dialogue.
The purpose of the rating scale is merely to enhance the performance dialogue and clarify constructive feedback. Too often we hear of conversations with employees who, after recently completing their performance dialogue, are surprised to hear from their supervisor that they still need to improve on some technical or behavioral performance expectation. At the same time, the supervisor feels that they are just following up on things discussed in the PD. By including a performance scale, we can get rid of these surprises and discrepancies and give people a clear understanding of how their performance is perceived. The richness of a good PD is in the dialogue. If we had to choose between only having a dialogue or only having a performance rating, I would choose the dialogue, but we don't have to choose. We can have both, with the scale clarifying the feedback from the dialogue. One concern we hear from people is that the performance rating determines my raise. Actually, my performance determines my raise. The rating reflects my supervisor's assessment of my performance. Among the important elements in reviewing performance is clarity about what is expected of us. The expectations on the PD include technical or functional standards and goals for our job, as well as the behavioral expectations outlined in Cornell's Skills for Success. Another important element is the guideline to supervisors to gather feedback from those we work with, teammates, customers, and clients, and other campus partners. Feedback is a gift that helps us understand and focus our strength and our development. There will always be some subjectivity in assessing performance because we are human, and as surprising as this may sound, our supervisors are too. We have found that discussions among college and divisional leaders to calibrate performance ratings help bring a stronger level of consistency and decrease rating differences between units. Even though some staff are hesitant about their supervisor discussing their performance with other leaders, we encourage all supervisors to have calibration conversations. The 5-point scale we use at Cornell centers on fully achieving expectations. We set high expectations to earn that rating. Many of us relate a 5-point scale to our school experience of A, B, C, D, and F, where fully achieving equates to a C or just average. But that isn't so at Cornell. Fully achieving means we have fully met all the goals and standards of our job, including Skills for Success. On our scale, a requirement to earn a rating of fully achieving is that you are meeting your specific job responsibilities, your goals, and demonstrating each of the skills within the Skills for Success. On the characteristic levels of performance grid, you will see that fully achieving includes the expectations shared in the Skills for Success. This makes fully achieving a high and challenging expectation. We expect most of us to earn this rating each year. Ratings of frequently exceeding or consistently surpassing expectations are more difficult and uncommon achievements. They are usually only given to recognize the shouldering of significant extra work duties and or their completion to quality standards exceeding expectation. On the other side, the ratings of fails to achieve and needs to improve to achieve are given to help us identify and focus on specific expectations in order to be successful in our jobs. Performance ratings are just one piece of data in a dialogue designed to help us accomplish what Cornell needs us to and to help us achieve what we want to. Another important tool we use is what we call the 9-box model, a helpful tool that is getting more and more use at Cornell. In this diagram, we not only take into account performance, but also career aspirations and potential. It helps us recognize that performance and potential are not the same. This helps individuals and supervisors identify appropriate development opportunities for those interested in advancing their careers, and it offers direction in how to acknowledge strong performance from people who are not interested in changing jobs.
Next, let's talk about the importance of examples. As we fill out our portion of the performance dialogue, many of us will likely think about what has occurred over the last several months and come up with a conclusion. But the key to a clear dialogue is the details that led us to our conclusion. For example, as we think about our performance around the Skills for Success, we might conclude that we fully achieve expectations for self-development. But we can go further by adding the details that led us to that conclusion. For example, I attended Turning Point. I took 5 Management Academy courses. I enrolled in and successfully completed a Cornell University course in accounting through extramural study, and I took on 2 extra assignments to help my team this year. A document called the Characteristic Levels of Performance can help you select the appropriate performance level for the Skills for Success section of the performance dialogue. The document offers examples for each skill and for each performance level within those skills. We should all understand that column 3, fully achieves expectations, truly is the Skills for Success. That means that literally the bullet points from the Skills for Success are in that column 3. So in job skills, for example, demonstrates competence in tools, equipment, software, and technologies to effectively complete assignments and job tasks. To fully achieve that skill, we literally need to demonstrate competence in the tools that we use, demonstrate competence in the equipment that we use. We basically need to use each of those bullet points in job skills to guide us in how we do our work. Similarly, the other 8 skills for success, adaptability, inclusiveness, self-development, innovation, teamwork, communication, stewardship, and service-minded attitude, also guide us in how we should do our work. And to fully achieve, we need to literally use those bullet points as our guide for how we do our work and how we interact with each other at Cornell University. Download the document at the web address that you'll find on the screen right now. The last major segment of the Performance Dialogue tool is again a look at the goals. This time, though, we've already looked back, gotten focused on our present performance, and are now ready to look ahead to the coming year by outlining our plan, our roadmap to success this year. We might start by looking at the goals for our unit and determining what personal goals we have and how those goals align to the work that our unit is doing. For example, if we are in student and academic services, we might consult the strategic plan, notice the diversity goal, and determine that some of our work aligns with that goal. Then, our plan might look like this example. Our goal might be to create opportunities for staff members from our department to come together and share knowledge. Maybe we could develop a bi-monthly hour-long meeting at which all the participants would bring a project that they're especially passionate about or that they're having trouble with. Then our tactics might be to reach out to our colleagues to schedule the first few speakers for the semester. We could schedule a venue and a time. We could advertise the program via Career Life Digest, our department's listserv, and at our all-staff meeting. Then we could measure how many people attend the first few events, assess how effective the program is, and determine what to keep doing and what to do differently. So a deliverable might be a program that reaches 100 staff all across campus. Now that we've discussed the planning and assessment portions of our model, let's look at the development portion. This part of the performance management process places 80 to 90% of the responsibility on us. But to help us manage our development, we do have the individual development plan, an incredibly helpful tool that we can use individually, although we strongly encourage you to share it with your supervisor and have a dialogue about it. If the plan is for our current role, the development portion is for our future. Where do we want to go at Cornell? Like the performance dialogue, this document allows us to click into each field, enter our information, and move to the next field. Also, like the performance dialogue, we will likely come to conclusions as we think about what we want, but examples will help us to clearly elaborate about how we came to our conclusions. Examples help make clear what can otherwise be vague or confusing. Start with our strengths. What knowledge, skills, or abilities do we have that we want to use in our careers? Next, think about our aspirations. We should think about what our goal is for our Cornell career. How far do we want to go? Next, we need to think about what we need. Although we may have some strengths and some untapped talents, we may also have the need to develop in other areas, depending on what our aspirations are. Finally, think about what we may need. As we look further down our career path, we may identify even more need for development. If we're uncertain about what we might need, we can always talk with our supervisor or with the very folks that hold the roles to which we aspire. The next section of the document should help us to take from the work that we just did and enter it into a list of 3 priorities for development. If we focus on more than 3 items, we may find our chances for succeeding in all of those priorities diminish as the list increases. We can always add more later if we finish our priorities before the end of the cycle. Now, the most important part, execute your plan. The very final piece of the performance management process is recognition. And to share with us some examples of recognition at Cornell University, we have Karen Raponi from the recruitment office.
There are many benefits to working at Cornell. Good performance amplifies or enhances the recognition that we receive for our work. First, let's look at informal appreciation. As humans, we all like the occasional pat on the back. That casual thank you that we hear periodically means the most, from people on our teams to people across campus. It doesn't cost anything to leave a note on someone's desk, to send an email, and also copy the person's supervisor, expressing our thanks to say, "I appreciate you," or have your staff meeting in a different venue. We can likely think of many other ideas to recognize and appreciate each other. When thinking about formal appreciation, many colleges and units have awards, and to recognize excellent performance, Cornell has 3 university-level awards through the High Five Employee Recognition Program. The Individual Excellence Award is presented to Cornell staff members who consistently demonstrate a high level of commitment and dedication to the university values and staff skills for success in the performance of their job duties, have a positive and influential impact on their work environment, and who foster cooperation and collaboration among their peers and supervisors while carrying out their job responsibilities. These individuals live the values of Cornell University. The Management Excellence Award will be presented to Cornell supervisors, managers, directors, or senior executive directors who consistently demonstrate a high level of commitment and dedication to the university values and the leadership skills for success. The nominee should create an inclusive environment that develops, empowers, engages, challenges, and motivates his or her staff with the result of greater productivity and effectiveness, living the values of Cornell University. The President's Award of Excellence. The staff member honored with this award is viewed as an exemplary campus citizen and lives the university values and the skills for success and/or the leadership skills for success. The staff member creates an inclusive environment which motivates colleagues and positively impacts the work environment. Additionally, we can recognize our colleagues through the George Peter Award for dedicated service. Another award is the Opperman Award for staff advocacy to recognize outstanding leadership by Cornell staff, faculty, or academic professionals in being an active voice for staff. For employees who go above and beyond, the Employee Assembly also sponsors the Employee Kudos Program. There are also appreciation events such as the Service Recognition Program, Staff Graduate Reception, Bring a Child to Work Day, Employee Celebration, and the Jenny T. Farley Office Professionals event. To learn more about the various awards at Cornell or to learn about employee personal purchase discounts, please visit this site. Opportunities to learn new skills. Strong continued performance may present us with assignments that help us learn new skills and grow our careers, such as we may get the chance to rotate into new jobs or new departments for a time, the ability to represent our departments on a committee, or the chance to share our knowledge and skills by training others. Promotions. And by growing new skills, this could open up opportunities for a new job or a promotion. And pay raises based on performance. Our performance is recognized periodically through the Salary Improvement Program. Additionally, there may be opportunities for bonuses and mid-year increases for high performance.
In addition to learning about the performance management process, we encourage you to learn about supervisor feedback as well. To do so, please go to See You Learn, click on Self-Service, click on the Learning, and then use the search catalog to type in feedback and enroll in the supervisor feedback course. Now that we've talked about how you can participate in the performance management process, Let's explore what is possible when we manage our performance well.
Cornell is a great place to work, not only because of the broad variety of careers available here in the university, but also the benefits and other opportunities that come with it. I was waiting on the civil service list for Rochester Police Department, and a friend of mine was a dispatcher here at the Cornell Police. And she said, well, come on here, you can come work at Cornell and get some training and get that education. That'll just make you a better candidate for other police departments. By the time local police agencies hit me on the civil service list, I had already achieved some rank. I was already a sergeant. So it became a very difficult decision, and I really examined Cornell. Benefits, the pay, and the work environment is really not something I wanted to leave.
My experience here at Cornell has been great. I'm here with some of the brightest, most talented faculty and staff, and students as well. Coming up here to Cornell, I took a great risk. I had a permanent position down in New York City. I actually left that position for a 3-year term position here at Cornell. I was put in different arenas that allowed me to grow professionally and allowed me to highlight my skills, which actually led to my permanent position within my division. I look forward to even a greater and brighter future.
My supervisor, she's always encouraging me to continue to take classes while at work, and she works with my schedule. For instance, she'll find out when my class is and try not to schedule meetings during those times. In addition to that, if there's something that interests me or any new skill that I want to learn, she'll try to work with me and figure out a way that I could gain those skills and apply them in a project. Cornell is a very supportive community, and everybody will be happy to help you and guide you, and they'll want to see you succeed.
There are many reasons to come to Cornell to work. Cornell has a great culture. There's many career opportunities. There's many different jobs that you can be a part of. When I came to Cornell, I started out in communications. I was in communications for a short time, and then I realized that I wanted to grow and develop and do something else. And that's when I went back and got my graduate degrees, and that took me in a whole different career path. So there's just such a variety of roles here that you can explore and take advantage of. And there's also just wonderful people here to be working with who will help you and inspire you, whatever your career aspirations are.
One of the key programs we have here is the Leadership Development Program. It's a mandatory part of our supervisor training here within the police department. And I found that program to be instrumental in how I developed as a leader, how I treat those that work with me, and how I treat those that work for me. But it gave me those skills to just be that much better of a leader within my own ranks and as I've moved up. Cornell likes to develop the leader in everyone, even at an entry-level position all the way up to department heads and vice presidents. It takes a level of leadership to make sure we're the best university possible. And that individual leadership is what can make your career a success here.